Hey everybody, it's Lily here with Impossible Things, and today I'm going to show you how to make this little receipt holder. It's actually a couple of envelopes that you put together and just decorate. This can hold receipts in your purse. That pocket is open, and then we have another pocket over here. And this was my prototype, so I do intend to make a pocket here and another one here, but this is the little clip that came in your kit. And then this is just about 5 sheets of paper that we cut down and stamped to make them look cute and bound together. And I'll show you how to do that so that you always have a pad of paper with you. This will fit really well in your purse, and it's a great little pocket to hold, you know, little random things like receipts. My receipts are always crumpled up in my purse, and I hate that, so now I can put them in here. Now, this is my prototype, but I'm gonna suggest that if you have Mod Podge, when you're done with this project, if you Mod Podge it, you will make it a little bit sturdier, and it'll probably last longer too. But this is fun and easy to make, so let's get started. Okay, so for this project, you're definitely gonna need the 2 envelopes that came in your kit, the little bull clip that also came in your kit, and then I used some of the some cutouts from this sheet, and I'm going to use this sheet to decorate the envelope because it kind of goes really well with the color of the envelopes. And then this sheet too, I used one of the 4x8s to cut out some of the little decorations and stuff to kind of add interest. We might also use some of the rub-ons that Lisa has in her booth. But you know, you can use whatever ephemera you have laying about to do this. It doesn't have to use any of that, of the, you know, you can use whatever's in the kit as well. So you just kind of have to, again, just be creative to how you want to decorate it. Definitely using scissors, glue, maybe a round punch. I'm not sure yet, but definitely washi tape. It doesn't have to be this one. It can just be any washi tape you might have on hand. And then, of course, your inks to ink the edges of your torn paper here. This is kind of a collage style little pocket, so that's what we're gonna do. The first thing we're gonna do is we are gonna take our envelopes, and you're gonna decide which one you want in the front, you want to be the front part, and which you want in the back. And I really like this, so I think I'm going to make this my back cover, and this will be the front. So I'm gonna put this one on the left-hand side, and then I'm gonna take this one and I'm gonna snuggle it in. And all you're doing is you are going to where the envelope ends here. It should line up with the fold, okay? It should fold okay there. Make sure it does. And what we're gonna do is take a pencil. If I can find my pencil, it'll be okay. There it is. Okay, so while you have it nestled in there, you're going to take a pencil and then I'm going to trace the outside of this envelope onto the trace right on the flap of the second envelope, so it looks like this. The reason I'm doing this is because I only want to add glue to this part here. Otherwise, my glue will be exposed. So next, take your glue, and I'm using glitter glue because it has a very strong hold. If you don't have any, Lisa has some in her booth. And she also has these marvelous tips that I love so much. So I'm gonna put glue there. I'm gonna slide it back in to the marks that I made and press down. And then if you see that your envelope needs a little bit more glue, it's very tricky to dye these envelopes. These envelopes are stained with avocado water that you boil and boil for hours. So they kind of start to fall apart. Oh, you know what I forgot to tell you? You'll also need a bone folder. And let me see if I can find mine. There we go. Like that. So I'm just making sure everything will fold okay. So I'm going to fold this over like this, and right here we're going to glue this down as well. So just apply your glue. Fold this down and glue it down, and then I like to stretch things out with my bone folder so that they fold right. Okay. All right. Make sure this goes over here. It's a little off, but it's okay. I'm okay with that. The next thing we want to do is we are going to cut the very, very edge here and here. So what I do is I take it like this and I put it on my paper cutter and just trim on the very, very edge. You don't want to cut off too much, just the very edge so that we can open the envelopes. Okay, that is literally how much I cut off, so not a lot, okay? And now my envelope opens here and here. And what I want to do now is I want to go ahead and reinforce that edge right there with my glue, because once you do that, you start to get little loose parts. So you want to make sure that they're all nice and tacked down. Okay, this one's loose. There we go. All right, the next thing we're gonna do is you should have a couple of sheets of this avocado stained paper in your kit as well. We're gonna take one sheet, and with my ruler, I measure about 2 inches at the widest point right here. We need to reinforce this inside, so I'm gonna play it safe and I'm gonna go 3 inches, and I'm gonna take my longest side of my paper and I'm gonna measure. First of all, I wanna tear off an edge because I do want it to look like a torn edge. There's a couple of ways you can do this. You can actually use a paintbrush dipped in water. And just kind of wet the edge here. And then you can take the paper and it should tear along a lot easier. Now here's the trick. If you pull this away, this side's gonna have a nice edge and this side's gonna have kind of a white edge. But if you pull this to the back, you'll end up with a nice edge on this side. So I'm just gonna, there we go. All right, so 2 inches. I'm gonna go the width of this, about 2.5, 3 inches, right about here. I have this really nifty ruler that lets you make a torn edge real fast. So we're gonna line this up at the top and we're gonna glue it down the middle. You should have enough to cover this bridge here. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna put glue on here. And I wanna make sure I get the width so I have enough glue. Now you can glue this down if you want to. I'm just gonna leave it open because this will kind of make it glued, or it'll be okay. And there we go. And then I can go back and reinforce what I missed. There we go. Now I do have a long piece hanging out. That's okay. I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to trim it along the edge here. Set that aside. There I go. Now I'm going to fold it over again and crease it with my bone folder. There we go. I'll make sure this is still okay. Here, I'm missing a few little edges here I didn't quite get. It's a good time to go through it. Get all those edges. There we go. There we go. All right. So let's flip this over. And on this edge, we're gonna take the washi tape, and you can use either of these two if you have this, either one, or if you have this set, you can use either one of these two. If you don't have this set, just find one that's about that wide, and we're gonna go right down the middle here. Now I'm gonna go, I think I'm gonna use this one. I'm gonna go straight down the middle and past on the edge over here and over here. And you only want to do one strip, because if you do more than one strip, it kind of gets a little difficult to fold. So we're gonna trim that here. Played around with this a lot, trying to figure out the best method for this, and I made one that was really hard to fold. It had a great reinforced back and spine, but I couldn't fold it. It was too much. Okay, so again, once you get that in there, let's go ahead and fold it down and crease it with the bone folder one more time. Okay. Next, we are going to decorate our little windows here. We have one in the back, one in the front. And if you look at my prototype, you'll see that I have a little piece of paper on the inside that I glued, and that says receipts on it. I wrote that with a brush marker that I have. If you like one, they're in my booth. It's the Funusuki brush marker. It looks similar to this one. This is the soft tip, and I sell the blue ones, which are the hard tips. And that's what I teach my students to use when we do the beginning calligraphy course. But I wrote that in there. It says receipts in there. And then over here on the back, I used a tag that I found in the, I don't know if it came from one of the ephemera kits, one of these strawberry lemonade bits, or the other one, or no, actually I think this one was actually part of the kit, the stuff. Well, I don't know where it came from. I just had one. But if you don't have one of these, just take a sheet of paper, cut a little corner there like that, and then you can write down whatever you want to use this for, your little pockets for. Okay. Let's take this. I'm dropping everything over here, guys. I'm pretty disorganized sometimes. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the small sheet, this little sheet here, and look, this, if we cut it, would look super cute in here, and you almost don't even have to decorate anything. So I'm going to cut this out. As a matter of fact, I'm just going to take my scissors. It's on the back of this. Oh, pretty simple stuff. Okay, and I'm just going to cut up just a little square like that. Make sure you do it long enough so it works. Oh, look at that. That looks really pretty. I almost don't even want to do anything else to it, except that I kind of do. And I think I have these really awesome bubbles and baubles that I got from Lisa's booth. Let me put my thing back on here. And, ooh, I like that. We're going to put the little today on there, and maybe a little of the butterflies. So let's see. These are so cute. I'm gonna put today up here. Actually, I'm gonna put today up here, and then I'm gonna take, I think I want this one. Well, I don't know. That'll stand out. That one right there. Looks so cute. And we can put that, I'm gonna put it right in here, just like that. Now the trick to this is figuring out where to add the glue. And I think I'm gonna slide this over here like this. So what I do is I position this where I want it, and then I take my pencil and I kind of mark the window a little bit, or where the window is, so that I can add. Now you just want to do that very lightly. See, I did that one too dark, and I gotta go back and erase it. So I know more or less where to add the glue. So this is gonna go here. And all I really need is to add glue to the edge. You can also try tape or something else if you don't want to do glue. I like the opportunity the glue gives me so that I can just move my piece if I need to. But here we go. Now I'm gonna position this again. And oops, you can see one of the little marks, but that's okay. Oops, I think I need more glue here. Take your bone folder, press down so that it glues down. And then if you have an extra piece like I do, just cut it off. Doesn't that look cute? So once you do this, you're going to do the one in the back, however you like. So here we are. We have our little pocket, and it's coming along just so nicely. The next thing we're going to do is we are going to take our big orange sheet here, and we're going to start cutting it out. And all we're doing is we are gluing bits and pieces onto this, and you might not want to cover, like I don't want to cover this up, but I think I do need something here, so maybe I can take this here, kind of curve it around, do something, and then just glue it down. So we're going to do that to here and to the back. So I will speed this portion of it up, and let's see how this turns out. going to tear some pockets kind of like this. These, I realized later, I glued them down and I thought, oh, those would have made some really cool pockets. So just take your sheet. I'm going to take, let's see, I'm going to cut this off first. Okay, that's going to be what I use for the bottom. And then I'm just going to take this and we're not going to go too far, but we definitely don't want to hit the middle here. So I'm going to cut out, I kind of like that little baby, so I'll cut more from this side. Yep. And I'm going to use my spiced marmalade. Do around the edges here. And then all I'm going to do is I'm going to glue this side down and this side down. And we're going to leave the other sides open. And you can definitely use tape for this. In fact, it probably would hold a little better, but I'm just using glue, so I'm just going to put it down here, line it up with my bottom edge. There we go, that's one pocket. We're going to do the same over here on this side, but on this side I think I'm going to use this. It's the flip side of our orange sheet. And I'm just going to put this here. Again, all we're doing is we're gluing this down and this down. Two pockets there. This, I'm not entirely happy with this yet. I'll go back and do something there and think this one through. But we can start decorating the front. What I've done is I used some of the ephemera from the tags kit and cut out some of the butterflies from this one here, and then the 4x8s also have a sheet that has some of these in the back, and then I put these on some little foam tapes. Pop up, but you definitely don't have to do that. And if you do that, just keep in mind, tucking this in there first, things will get caught in there, so they might eventually fall. But let's decorate this part. Okay, next we're gonna make the little notebook part of our little pocket here. So you have a to-do list in there that folds up nicely in here. So what we want to start with is 6 sheets of paper. I have 6 sheets of paper that I've stacked up together, and I have a ruler, and we're gonna need to make this about, let me get a regular ruler. We need to go about 3 1/4 to 3 1/2 inches wide. If we do 3 1/2, well, 3 1/4, 3 1/4. Quarter, 3 1/4. And there's a couple of ways that you can do this. You can take your paper cutter and cut each one of these at 3 1/4 inches. You can also tear, give it a nice little more interesting edge there. You can tear one sheet at a time with your ruler. We're going to line this up here and just tear it like this, and then just stack up all your sheets into one. This will give it a more interesting edge, but it's going to take longer, that's for sure. And do it this way. Stack them all up. Okay. I think I am going to do them this way. So I'm going to, because I really liked this look. I think it gives it a little more. Actually, I'm going to cut these. Okay. So here's what I'm going to do. You can do that. You can do them one by one. It's going to take more time. Or like I said, you can just cut them with your paper cutter, and for that I recommend that you have 2 of these little clips to keep your paper from moving as you cut. And I'm just going to put one on this end that I'll have to remove, but there we go. So I'll be right back. And there you are. We've got all the paper. We're going to stack it up. And in order to make this top part, what I did was, I have a bunch of little scraps of paper. So hold on, I'm going to clip this together like that. Clip them on both sides, and I measured, I want this to be about, it's about 1 inch. No, I want it to be about 3/4 of an inch. So 3/4 of an inch, and it's got to be 3 1/4 inches wide. So I'm going to take this little piece right here, and I'm going to mark it at 3 1/4 inch here, and I'm going to cut that. Okay, I've cut this down a size. Yep, okay. And now it's 3 1/4, or not 3 1/4, it's 3/4 of an inch. Sorry, that's 1 inch. Yeah, I want it to be 3/4 of an inch high. So I'm gonna do this. That's gonna kind of, okay, I think I'm gonna trim this down. right there. So what we really want is 1.5 inches. 3/4 plus 3/4 is like 1.5 inches. So what we want is to be able to fold this in half. And so I think I'm going to cut this down here so this part of it can be on the front. So the front part is going to have, this is my 1 inch, it's going to have that butterfly. So from there to there, there's the other. So 1.5 inches is what we want. So I'm going to cut this at 1.5. You know what? I might even go a little bit more. Okay. So here's what I did. I went a little bit more than 1.5 inches. I think it's about 2 inches because I like this design and I want to keep that in the front. So it is 1 and almost 3/4 or just past 3/4 of an inch. So what I want to do is I want to score this in half and so that I can fold it. I'm going to take my score thing. It's so much easier, but figure out the half and you're going to score it this way. So that's 3/4. And you can eyeball it. It does not have to be exact. I think I'm going to go here. Right there. Doesn't have to be exact, but this helps fold it over because it's such a small piece of paper. And now I can decide, actually, you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to create 2 score lines because that will go over the paper. So I'm only going 1 up on the line. So about, what is that, 1/16 of an inch, 1/8 of an inch. So they're 1/8 of an inch separated. So make your score line and then make another one, another 1/8 of an inch past it. And that gives you that nice little top so that when you set this in here, it looks really cool. Okay, now here's what we can do. Since I like this design and I don't want to ruin it, I'm going to staple this down. And for this, you're going to need an eraser. Here's an old eraser. You're going to need that and a stapler. I have my staple here. I'm going to put this on here. Take my staple right along the top. Bam. And the reason you need the eraser is so that you can staple that, because if I tried stapling it the regular way, it's too thick. My stapler is not that great. It's not going to go through it. So I'm going to do this too. Bam. And I'm going to do another one right in the center. There. So now I have these poking out the back. I'm going to take my trusty bone folder and I'm just going to fold those parts over. And they don't have to be pretty. It's okay. But we're going to take this and we're going to glue it to the top. Just like that. Marker right to do on the top. Okay, there you have it. Now the other way to do this is this. You can just take any little piece of cardboard that you have. And what I did is I did the same scoring. I left about 1/8 of an inch between the scores up here at the top. And instead of gluing this and just stapling the paper and then gluing this to it, you can actually staple this part of it straight through. So I went from this side, I just stapled it, and then I put washi tape on the top. And in your kit you should have some of these tags, and that's all I did. I used this here is a, where's my green marker? There it is. I have dot markers in my booth. This one just happens to be a metallic one, but that's what that is. As a matter of fact, that's what these little things are all over. And it just kind of adds a nice little decorations. So I'm just gonna do that all the way around. I have dot markers in many different colors in my booth. On these dot markers, I love them. They're great if you do a bullet journaling. The harder you press, the bigger the dot. The lighter you press, the smaller the dot. And yeah, you can do it with your markers, but these are specifically made to create dots. Go. Now we take this, and the beauty of making your own pad of paper is that when you run out, you can just make another one real easy. But this goes here, and there it is. It's kind of hard to figure out how to bind this, but you can just take some jute, start here, and then just go around. Or if you've got a rubber band, you can tie it around as well. Yeah, there's no easy way to bind it, because you're kind of, if you want the pockets to open, you can't really run anything through here. I mean, you could put a brad, I guess, here, and then have it, yeah, it's just harder on this side, you know, but I will just bind it like this. Take a piece of string, jute, whatever you got, wrap it around a couple of times, bring this down. You can even tie one of your little ephemera tags to this if you want to, and then leave it hang like that. You can put it one of these big butterflies like we did for that one of the last projects that we did, and put one there, and then you have yourself a nice little receipt holder, photo holder, pending stuff, you know, in a to-do list, something you can carry around in your purse. And again, if you decoupage this with some Mod Podge, it'll make it stronger and it'll last longer. So there you have it, this week's project. I hope you enjoyed it. Leave us your projects down in the comments below so that we can see what you're doing.